To come and do a motivational speech to the Senate about accountability. I will do it for free.
This, as a federal judge recently confirmed.
The audit also found lax monitoring and reporting of results.
Will the Prime Minister hold his Minister of Public Safety accountable?
On Parliament Hill.
And then when he was finally confronted by an RCMP officer, he said to her, "Do you know who I am?"
But now
Well, Mr. Harper, now that Mr. Trudeau has voluntarily agreed to compensate all charities...
And with that, we're back again. Hi there, I'm Darren Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
It's so good to be with you because today we get to mock our Decepticon leader, Mr. Robocall himself. Stephen Harper is back in the news again.
Yeah, I bet he's glad it's the end of the summer, it's the end of the session for Parliament, and they get to retire for some time.
Yeah, I know. It's not like they actually do all that much, but we're here to talk about it. The news covered a couple stories, but this one is so cool.
Prime Minister Stephen Harper recently attacked Liberal leader Justin Trudeau for collecting fees for speaking engagements from charitable organizations. Harper said, "I get good remuneration from taxpayers of Canada. As a public servant, I don't think it's appropriate for me to then take money from charity. I give money to charity, I don't take money from charity." Well, Mr. Harper, now that Mr. Trudeau has voluntarily agreed to compensate all charities, most of which he made money for, and all but one of which felt no wrongdoing was done on Justin's part, I am wondering if you will follow his example and offer me a check for my share of the $3.1 billion of missing taxpayers' money you can't account for. Since you talk so highly of integrity, I think Canadians can unanimously agree that as a servant of the public, it is incumbent on you to compensate us for misappropriating our money. Since your remuneration is so good, why have you not offered anything back to Canadians?
And I love it when it starts out like that.
Well, that's one that makes sense, you know.
Well, the CBC seemed to forget about the $3.1 billion going missing in amazing speed.
Don't worry, we'll keep reminding them.
Yes, we've got these awesome magazine covers that we put up, and we're going to start spreading them around. However, some local activists are trying to get Radio Free Canada banned.
Wow.
I mean, it's just because we happen to be doing things on a regular basis and pointing out how they're idle all the time. So, right here, I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
It's so good to be at work today, and make sure that you hang around as we go through thousands of hours of lamestream media and get those few nuggets that actually count. What do you got for me, brother?
Well, you know, the Harper government is very desperately trying to change the channel on the issues they're facing in Parliament.
And we won't be changing that channel. Here's a clip. It's Radio Free Canada. Thanks for joining us.
The Conservatives have been trying, in Stephen Harper's absence, to shift attention from the Senate scandal to the actions of Tom Mulcair and Justin Trudeau.
This week, the target is Trudeau, and the Prime Minister's staff has been relentless in leaking details of his appearances to the media, even to small newsrooms outside Ottawa.
Do you endorse these activities by your staff? And second, do you agree that it is always wrong for somebody to work for a charity for money?
Harper didn't answer those questions, but said,
"I give money to charity. I don't take money from charity."
Last week, the target was NDP leader Tom Mulcair, who was accused of running a number of stop signs on Parliament Hill.
And then when he was finally confronted by an RCMP officer, he said to her, "Do you know who I am?"
But now a report that on the very same day, Conservative MP Eve Adams was also stopped by the RCMP on Parliament Hill. She was reportedly issued a $155 ticket for talking on her cell phone while driving. Try as they might, the Conservatives are struggling to make anything stick. Even in the Senate today, their leader turned the attack on the media.
Our public broadcaster, so concerned about their new little star, asks the question not about the trade talks, not about the serious situation, not about the serious situation in Syria, not about the dynamics of the G8, which ended up with a very positive communique on Syria. Oh no, Terry Milewski had to ask the Prime Minister about someone insulting their little shiny pony, Justin Trudeau.
Perhaps the only way the Conservatives can get off this track is to get off Parliament Hill. And tonight, Peter, the House has risen for the summer, which means MPs are not expected back in the House of Commons until the fall.
And the way that the Harper conservatives avoid the media altogether, we know that the NDP and the Green Party are going to be jumping right in front of camera all summer.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll be giving us all the intellectual ammunition we need.
Of course.
I almost said ammunition by itself. Okay, and we watch that around here because we realize the NSA and CSIS are listening.
Well, yes, we always must mention the DHS monitored word phrase of the day.
Yes, DHS monitored word phrase of the day is...
I think that's patriotism.
Patriotism. Remember, we said the word patriotism, and to my NSA and CSIS friends who are writing down what I'm saying right now, remember, I said the word bomb parts. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall.
God is great.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that one will get you right on. That'll get you on the NSA watch list.
Well, maybe this missing money has actually gone into that program, because we're going to run this story again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm loving it. So thanks for checking it out.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The federal government has been warning Canadians for months to be careful with their money and not go into debt too heavily. Well, now the government itself has some explaining to do.
A probe into the Public Security and Anti-Terrorism Initiative between 2001 and 2009 left his office puzzled. $12.9 billion set aside to keep Canadians safe, but Treasury Board can only account for $9.8 billion, meaning $3.1 billion vanished. The audit also found lax monitoring and reporting of results.
Will the Prime Minister hold his Minister of Public Safety accountable for this $3 billion boondoggle?
There's some lack of clarity. The Auditor General has made some suggestions on how we can be more clear in our tracking in the future. We will do that.
The department offered 3 possible explanations. Either the funding lapsed without being spent, was accounted for somewhere else, or was spent on something totally unrelated.
It's possible that some of this money was spent on things that really were not related to the initiatives, and that should only have happened if there was the appropriate approval.
The Auditor General didn't find anything to suggest any misspending by either the Tories or the previous Liberal government, but Canadians will likely never know where those billions ended up. Shirley Ango, Global News, Ottawa.
Well, it's good to see that our money's being well spent by the Tory government again.
Yes, and accountability is rolling right in.
I love that phrase, misspending.
Misspending. Oh, well, he makes that offhand comment, well, I'm sure it went to a good place. No, we're not sure.
It could be in the PMO's secret stash of money.
Yeah, I know.
All we know.
If you guys didn't catch up on that, that was the story that we ran last time. We were talking about it. Get on Radio Free Canada and make sure that you check it out. They've got a secret stash of cash in the Prime Minister's office that had $90,000 to pay off Mr. Duffy.
And I love the way this government represents itself as the bastions of democracy and free rights and transparency.
Yeah, accountability is us. Sorry, wrong.
And they went so far as to monitor the Iranian election.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And, I mean, the irony is just beautiful.
It's Irony Day. Here, check it out. You be the judge. Remember, we don't make commercials that say trust us because we don't have to. Check this out.
One would have thought that the legitimacy of elections would be the last subject Canada's ruling neoconservatives would want to raise in public. But this hasn't stopped the Canadian government, in collaboration with the pro-Zionist Monk School of Global Affairs, announcing that it intends to, quote, monitor the Iranian elections from afar. The Canadian media and political class appears to be more concerned with the electoral process in Iran than with the electoral process in Canada. This, as a federal judge recently confirmed that the 2011 election, which led to the formation of Prime Minister Stephen Harper's majority government, was a fraudulent election. Canada's fanatically pro-Israel foreign minister has been working collaboratively on many Iran-related initiatives with the pro-Zionist Monk School of Global Affairs in recent months, with the apparent goal of promoting regime change in Iran. The school bears the name of Peter Monk, who is an honorary board member of the Jewish National Fund and founder of the world's largest gold mining company, Barrick Gold. Critics claim that such pro-Zionist forces really just want a subordinate Iran that will defer to Israeli Middle East hegemony. Twitter users did not miss the irony of Canada's election fraud government lecturing Iran on how to hold free and fair elections. This Twitter user, for example, opined, "This is rich. Canadians had better start monitoring elections here in Canada. Joshua Blakeney, Press TV, Calgary.
Now, the one point that you do have to understand, we've got an election, a by-election coming. Christy Clark is coming to Kelowna to run for her position. But the one thing that Elections Canada has stopped is exit polls.
Oh, yeah? Because they don't really want to know what people were really thinking.
Yes, exit polls are more accurate, and they show where the scam goes on. Of course, in Canada, after the robocall scandal, we've seen that Elections Canada and the Canadian government have axed all funding for exit polls.
It's funny, you know, I haven't received any robocalls. I'm feeling left out.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, you have to phone up and phone, some of those white suit guys.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Okay. So make sure you get informed about the election scam that is robocalls. We do not have a democracy in Canada until they get held accountable for that. With the 3.1 million missing, well,
the Senate's been feeling kind of bad about itself. They've been getting some negative press lately. So they had another bad idea.
Barry McLaughlin is considered one of North America's leading communications consultants. In the middle of this Senate spending scandal, someone thought it would be a good idea to hire him and a motivational speaker to help staffers in the upper chamber, quote, feel valued. The self-affirming session featuring this motivational speaker was supposed to be held Wednesday, but has since been canceled. Senate leaders admit they were discussing ways to improve morale for staffers who've been feeling the pressure of the scandal. Over in the House of Commons, opposition parties were more than happy to offer their services.
I am willing to come and do a motivational speech to the Senate about accountability. I will do it for free.
Now, it's unclear just how much the motivational speakers were going to cost, but the good news is at least one of them has confirmed he won't be charging cancellation fees. Mike Lecouteur, Global News, Ottawa.
Tom, how out of touch do you have to be to think that this is a good idea in the current political climate?
Well, I'd say somewhere between completely and tragically. Now, there is no doubt that this is an emotionally difficult time for the senators and the staff in the Senate. But, if they wanted to feel better, their own health plan covers it. They all have access to counseling through a company called Morneau Sheppel. And here's something else, Donna. They could have received the wisdom of at least one of those speakers, Barry McLaughlin, for free. Because 2 weeks ago, he was on this very set on the West Block talking about, crisis management in the Senate and what you should and should not do. And that was all for free.
Yeah, that seems to be working out so well for them.
Well, I feel pretty good we ducked that bullet. We don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, okay. But, of course, we've got that secret stash of cash in the PMO's office.
Yeah, but the poor senators were feeling pressured. So you know what they did? They went and voted themselves another large leap in their expense accounts.
Yeah, okay, just to, pay for how sad they are.
Oh, yes, I feel so sorry for them.
You do. Muffin, please. Here's a nice cookie for you and some milk. Honestly, just following orders. Sorry, if you sign up for that, that's your problem. I don't really care. Okay, because Harper said, I'm not going to appoint any senators. That's what he said.
That's what he said. But, of course, he lied because he's a politician and his mouth was moving and words weren't coming out.
Far be it from me to point out any facts here or anything like that. Our robocall leader is going to get roasted for the next couple months because they're taking some time off in their busy schedule of omnibus bills.
By the way, where is Slippery Steve?
Yeah, where is he?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since the G8.
I don't know. I got a feeling he's going to show up to bolster up his favorite leader, Christy Clark, as she enters the Kelowna politics realm. This one should be interesting.
Or we may have to go stroke Obama on the Keystone.
Remember that we're looking for crowdsourcing coming up right here at Radio Free Canada. Watch through July and August and contact us at Box 20013, Kelowna BC, V1Y 9 Henry 2 for more information. I'm Darren Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
It's been our privilege to bring you this mock Harper moment just because we gotta. We're going to be right back with...
We're going to spank some bakers.
Oh, yeah! It's